Hello to everybody, our dear subscribers. FutureTrend channel is again with you, and today is 28th of November 2018. We are ready to present our view of how to trade major currencies in the world financial markets. And today we'd like to concentrate your attention regarding very important financial assets that trading in the world assets markets. And that's the Brent, the price for the crude oil. Let's see the situation with the price of this asset. As you could see, that starting from the 2nd of October, to be honest, when the Brent printed at the highest level of 2018, around 86.71, until now, this kind of assets already plunged around 50%, and that means that, of course, the prices for Brent, the prices for crude oil, really have a great impact on overall inflation expectations around the globe. And the euro-dollar is not an exclude, as regarding the same situation could apply especially for such currencies like dollar Canada or Russian ruble. And that's not a surprise that, for example, starting from the beginning of October, the dollar Canada also is under the upside pressure. And now we could see that it's kind of the same kind of trend we have in the dollar Canada. The weakness of Canadian dollar and also the weakness of the prices for Brent, the crude oil in the world financial markets. And of course, from this point of view, we could apply the same rule also for the Russian ruble. Probably the Russian ruble is not so volatile, is not so dependent at the moment, is not so dependent like, for example, Canadian dollar. Anyway, also in the Russian ruble we have a kind of pivotal support barrier located around 65, and while above that level, the Russian ruble should continue its upside progress. From our point of view, the same, by the way, applies for the euro ruble, but euro ruble is not working at the moment. Our chart is not working. Break above the current downtrend line located at 67.80 in the dollar ruble could extend its current upside progress further to the north. And also, let's back to the dollar Canada. Despite of hawkishness of the Bank of Canada, despite of all of economic indicators that are really very positive in Canada, like, for example, labor data or inflation data or gross domestic product in Canada, all these indicators still much better than, for example, comparing to other developed nations. Anyway, and despite of the fact that Bank of Canada has everything in its arms to continue its policy of hiking its benchmark interest rate, despite of that, dollar Canada is ready to retest the highs of 2018 located around 133.90. And the break above that level could extend dollar Canada further to the upside in case of further plunge in the prices of crude oil in the world financial markets. As regarding the euro dollar, of course, euro dollar is under the pressure because of much worse than expected economic data coming from a eurozone. Anyway, we should not forget about inflation numbers. And inflation and the prices for Brent crude, the prices for crude oil, has a lot of common things, because in case of further deepening in the prices of crude oil in the world financial markets, of course it should have a negative impact on overall inflation expectations in the eurozone. That's why there is another factor playing its role in the further bearishness of the euro dollar at the moment. And the same, by the way, applies also for the dollar yen, which is also looking very robust at the moment because of high difference between the approach of Bank of Japan and the Fed. The same applies, by the way, for the cable, which is also has its internal problems associated with the Brexit and so on. And dollar Canada also looking more or less encouraging for the dollar bulls here, despite of the risk aversion sentiment that's spreading around the euro at the moment. Anyway, we see that dollar Swiss franc also is looking at the moment more bullish than bearish. Anyway, we still continue to suggest that sooner or later the pair will come under the downside pressure. That's why we are entered a small short position in the dollar Swiss with a stop above this year's highs located at 101.28. So we'd like to concentrate your attention today on the Brent oil, on the Brent prices. And you should understand that in case of further deepening in the prices of Brent or some other types of crude oil, of course, in that case, the dollar should continue to outperform major currencies, especially the currencies of emerging markets. Thank you very much, our dear subscribers. We hope that today's analysis was useful for you. We wait for your commentaries. Bye bye for now.